Very good morning to all my dear students. I hope you all are safe and fine at your places. And I truly believe, students, that really the learning process is going on well. So students, as you all know, that we are dealing with the chapter number 8, that is the unit 8, Biomechanics in Sports. This is such a wonderful chapter that we should go for. So my dear students, it's become very important for us to know about the different movements. Different movements with what? Different movements is basically depends upon the flexion, extension, about the flexion, extension, and so many things. So let's come into the question of physical education, and I'm your Deepak sir, going to take you inside physical education. The topic that we're going to deal with today is about the biomechanics, right? So welcome to physical education. This is part 4, right? This is part 4, and the name of our unit is unit number 8, and the name of unit is Biomechanics in Sports. So before I'm going to deal with this topic, the student, I want you to keep your holy concentration here. I just wanted you to be, with your whole heart concept. The student, what is the basic need that I would like to tell you here is about the meaning of biomechanism. The meaning of biomechanism is the study, to the forces acting on our body. We have to deal with so many terms before we're going to go through these topics, right? Basically, first thing, that is the anatomy. If I'm talking about anatomy, it might have some reason. That's why I'm talking about anatomy, right? So anatomy is what? It's a study of human body structure. Why I'm telling you about anatomy? Because all the movements is just because of the joint. If I'm doing like this, just because of joint. If I'm doing like this, it's just because of joint. Just because of joint, we're doing these things. It is just because of what? It is just because of the movements. It is just because of the biomechanics, the influence of force, the acting of force in the human body. So students, the very first thing to note here is about the biomechanism. Biomechanism is the study of the forces acting on the human body system. Bio is basically means life, and mechanism, it's a branch of science, which it's a branch of physics basically, which deals with the force acting on the body of a human organism, right? Or of a human or of a biological system if we talk about. Second thing is physiology. So physiology is the study of the functioning of the various organ systems, the functioning of the various biological systems. If we talk about the functions of the skeleton system, the study of the skeleton system, that will be the anatomy. Got it? Next thing that I will going to discover here is the kinesiology. Kinesiology is the scientific study of human body structure, to know the relationship, to know the biological system, so that the things would be fine, right? So this is about what I'm telling you, students, is basically based on the biomechanism and why we study these topics. Today the thing that we're going to discuss is about the the movements, the things that we should keep in our mind, and it's really important in terms of gaining knowledge, in terms of understanding the various concepts in such a proper way. So we have understood 3 to 4 things. First is biomechanism, that is the life or the field of science or field of physics which deals with the big muscle activities. It means the force acting on the body. Second thing was the anatomy. So anatomy is the study of human body structures, which consists of bones, skeletal systems, joints, etc. Next thing that I'm going to tell you here is about the physiology. Physiology, it means we are learning the various biological systems of the body. Like your body has a glandular system, neuromuscular system, digestive system, reproductive system, respiratory system, excretory system. We have so many systems in our body, and we are dealing with that. Okay, so it's very important for us to have a scientific approach towards that cases, that's biological systems. Okay, the next thing that I would like to discuss here is about the kinesiology. Kinesiology is based upon the scientific study of the human body structure. Let's come. We are going to start a new topic. Okay, and the name of the topic is movements. Okay, so students, before we going to move to the topic movements, I would like to tell you about two things. First is joint. About the bones also I would like to tell you so many points. So if we talk about the bones, if we talk about the joints, we will have to have some knowledge of it, right? So let us suppose right now if I am going to talk to you about the joints, okay? Or if I am going to talk to you about the structure of human body, right? So student, the very first thing about the skeleton system, okay, is basically the first. If I'm talking about the skeleton system, so for sure, for years, a skeleton system consists of bones, joints, which provide attachment to the most movement muscles, that is the skeletal muscles, right? Proper functioning of the skeletal system and muscular system improve the efficiency of body. If you guys are sitting on a particular place and watching this video, this is also the same thing that is what I am telling you. So to sit at a particular place, to watch the things, to do anything, to do some work, if your mother told you that just go and pick up that thing, that needs some efficiency, that needs some strength in your body to pick up that thing. Okay, so skeleton system, yes, we understood कि bones से और हमारे जो joints हैं, it consists of the skeleton system. Now if we go through, have a look on the bones and its classification. Okay, if we go to the classification of bones, so the classification of bones is there are 206 bones in a human body. How many bones we have? We have 206 bones in a human body. Bones are divided into three parts. The first part is head, second part is shaft, and the third one is and tail. Okay, so bone, that is consists of the head, shaft and tail. The longest bone which is present in the thigh is femur. The next bone, that is the what I should say is about the smallest bone. So the smallest bone is present in the ear and it is steps. STAPES. Okay, so the bones are the hardest connective tissue, okay students, forming the skeleton system, right? We can walk, we can laugh, we can chew, we can do so many things just because of these skeleton system. Like other connective tissues, it is made up of matrix. Now students, see, the long bones are usually hollow, containing bone marrow in it. In matrix, if we talk about, so matrix, there are haversinial canals and there is a layer of matrix, and in the form, the layer is called lamella. What we called it? We called it lamella. They are ridged in supply of blood. Okay, so if we are talking about the system, that is the bone, the structure of the human body, if we are talking about right now, so first thing is cartilage. Cartilage in nose, ears, cartilage are present, students. So cartilage are the elastic hard connective tissue. These elastic due to the presence of chondroin protein. So जो हमारी elasticity है cartilages में, वो किसके कारण है बेटा? वो है chondroin protein नाम के एक organic salts हैं और protein है chondroin, उसके कारण है, right? So cartilage is leucine and chondroblast in structure. इसकी भी 3 layers होती हैं, like haline cartilage, fibrous cartilage and calcified cartilage. Now there are different kinds of bones, students, the long bone, the short bone, the hardest bone. Let's see one by one each of it. Okay, you mark my words. First bone is long bone. They have very long, they have act as a liver, like femur bone and femur bone. I taught you on that day also, right? So if we talk about the short bone, they are short in size and cubic shaped. They also found in wrist or phalanges. Okay, let's talk on the next thing, that's a flat bone. So we have also flat bones and they are broad. The sternum and scapula are the part of it. Regular bones, like the bones have a regular shape like vertebra, skull, these are the regular bones. If we talk about the sesamoid bones, so tendons, ligaments, patella joint, it's a knee joint, these joints are the sesamoid bones. If we talk about the cartilaginous bones, for years for sure, the softest connective tissue, the flexible, so that like the present in the ear, which is present in the nose. The next thing that we need to know about the immovable and movable joints. Movable, it means they are fixed, they are not supposed to move. So basically joints are of three types: immovable joints, movable joints and freely movable joints, right? So when we talk about joints, so movable joints, immovable joints, slightly movable joints. Immovable joints, if I'm going to talk about your skull, the skull is immovable. If we talk about the movable joint, okay, so movable joint is your knee, patella joint. If we talk about slightly movable joint, the vertebral column are slightly movable joints. Now let's come, we're going to start a new topic. This was all about the basic revision. Let's learn the new topic, and the new topic is types of movement. Okay, types of movement. So first thing in it is flexion. Let's make it so proper, so fine, so that it will be so looking good. First point is flexion. Okay, what is the first point? The first point is flexion. That is the point number 1. Now students, the very first point is, I think we should do that, we can write the things properly first, then we can have a brief discussion about it. Flexion. The second thing, if you're going to throw a light on it, is extension. Flexion, and second thing is extension. Okay. Let's come on the next. What's the next point? So first was flexion, extension, abduction. A, B, D, U, C. Okay? So A, B, D, U, C, T, L, N. Abduction, flexion, abduction. Next thing, adduction. Flexion, extension, abduction, now adduction. Right? Now, bache, why I am telling you all this thing? These things are very important. These consist of 5 marks. Okay? Now, circumduction. Circumduction. Let's move. Let's learn the next thing. Okay, now see what the next thing is. So it's a rotation. Circumduction के बाद क्या है? Rotation. Rotation. The next, these are movements. Okay, types of movement that we need to go through. It's very important for us to go. Next is about the pronation. That is the aligned. Okay, so next thing will be pronation. Okay, then supination. Pronation. The next term is supination. Supination. So we are done with rotation, pronation, supination, so many points. Now inversion. Okay, so after inversion, let's see what the next thing is. Exertion. E-X-E-R-S-I-O-N. E-X-E-R-S-I-O-N. Let's move on the next. So supination, pronation, inversion, exertion, rotation, dorsiflexion. Which is the next one? The next one is the dorsiflexion. Okay, so dorsiflexion. Okay, after dorsiflexion we have some more points, some kind of movements that we needed to go through it properly. That's a really very important to go through, because these points are really we need to go for, otherwise there will be a lot of problems. Like prone, P-R-O-N-E, supine and plantar flexion. Okay, plantar flexion. Let's write it also. Plantar flexion. After plantar flexion, we have one more thing, supine and proline. Okay, proline. Okay, students. So these are the types of movement. Okay. So I hope you cleared that what I am going to tell you exactly here. That is the prone. No. So it's O-N-E, I think. Yes. Pardon for this mistake. It's corrected, students. That's it. Fine. I just wanted a color chalk to underline it. You go through it properly till see what you can understand, what you can got it. You can make this chart in the exam also. Let's come on this also. So this is number 1. This is number 2. Number 3. 4. Number 5. Let's start. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. This is number 10. This is number 11. This is number 12. This is number 13. This is number 14. Okay, these are the types of movements, and now we need to know the definitions of it also. Okay, the proper definitions is very important. Okay, so let's come. We're going to start the definition, the explaining part of it. Okay, so that at least it will get to know the glance of it. Let's begin. Flexion. Okay, so what is flexion exactly? This is what we are going to talk about. Flexion, it describes the bending movement that decreases the angle between the segment and its proximal segment. For example, on bending your elbow, clenching the hands from the wrist. The example of flexion: when sit down, knees are flexed. When the joint can move forward and backward, such as neck, trunk. Flexion refers to the movement in the interior direction. Flexion of the shoulder, hips refers to the movement of the arms of the leg forward. So basically, what is the basic definition of flexion is? Flexion is the bending of joint so that the bringing together the parts to connect. What is flexion? Flexion is the bending of a joint so as to bring together the parts. Okay. So students, I'm just giving you a very simple example, right? I'm coming and I'm giving you one very simple example. देखो, सबसे पहली चीज flexion. This is my hand. I am bending my elbow. This is flexion. ये पूरा 180 degree है. This is flexion. When the angle decrease, flexion. What is flexion? This is flexion. Got it? So flexion is what? When your angle decreases. Okay? In the same way, this is flexion. In the same way, this is flexion. You keep in mind this elbow joint flexion. So we can write over here flexion. It means we can write. Just want it on chalk. Just give me a second. Okay. So whenever we talk about flexion, we need to know some points, and they are really important. Okay. So flexion की जब भी बात कर रहे हैं तो हम joints लिख सकते हैं यहाँ पे. Okay. Like elbow joints. Elbow लिख दिया मैंने ताकि आपको यहाँ पर clear है. So first is the elbow. Now let's learn about the next thing. Students, we were discussing about flexion, right? So flexion क्या है? जब आपका कोई भी दो joint अपने joint के पास में, यानी जब angle decrease होगा, that is flexion. Now अगला point है हमारे पास में extension, है ना? So what is extension? Extension is a straightening of the joint. किसी भी joint को आप bend से straight कर रहे हो, that is so simple extension. So it is extension. If I am going to talk about is the opposite of flexion, describing a straightening movement that decreases the angle between the body parts. Not decrease, it will increase the body part angle, right? So जो हमारा flexion है, which is totally opposite of extension, and extension is opposite of the flexion. Describe a straightening movement that increases the angle between the body parts. When a joint can move forward and backward, such as neck, trunk, extension refers to the movement to the posterior direction. For example, when stand up, the knees are extended. Extension of the hips or shoulder moves the arm leg backward. When the chin is against the chest, okay, the head is flexed and the trunk is flexed. This is lean forward. So extension is so simple. It is very easy, students. That I can show you right now. Like let's say if I'm doing like this. This is what? This is flexion. The opposite of flexion is extension. The straightening of bones. The straightening of bones is called flexion. This is extension. This is my flexion. This is extension. Got it? The next one. The first thing we have covered is flexion. जिसमें हमारा एंगल कम होता है. इसमें एंगल एक्सटेंशन में एंगल क्या होता है? इंक्रीज होता है. अगला जो पॉइंट हमको पढ़ना है वो है पॉइंट नंबर 3, दैट इज एबडक्शन. तो अब हम बात करेंगे कि एबडक्शन क्या होता है. व्हाट इज एग्जैक्टली एबडक्शन इज अबाउट. सो एबडक्शन इज रिलेटेड, यू नो, इट रेफर्स टू द मोशन दैट पुल द स्ट्रक्चर और अ पार्ट अवे फ्रॉम द मिडिल लाइन ऑफ द बॉडी. In case or like in the case of finger and toes, it refers to the spreading of the digital parts. Okay, away from the center line of the head of the foot. Abduction of wrist is called a radial deviation. Keep in this point, just keep in mind, abduction of the wrist is also called radial deviation. For example, raising the arms up, such as when tight or rock walking. Okay, the next thing is also about example of abduction is at the shoulder. When the legs are split and the hips, such as doing start jumps, doing splitting, and you know, students alternate toe touch, or I can give you the example, the legs are abducted at the hip region. So what is abduction? Okay, देखो abduction भी मैं आपको बहुत easy तरीके से show कर रहा हूँ. When I'm talking about abduction, so this is the third point, and right now I'm talking about the abduction. तो ये हमारी मिड लाइन है, राइट? आई से बीच से लेके यहाँ पे पूरी जो हमारी वर्टिकल कॉलम है हमारी मिड लाइन है. सो व्हेन एवर वी इंक्रीज द एंगल, जब मिड लाइन से हम बॉडी पार्ट्स को दूर करते हैं, दिस इज एबडक्शन. एंड नाउ व्हाट यू विल डू इन स्कूल और व्हेन द एग्जामिनेशन इज गोइंग ऑन, व्हेनेवर यू राइटिंग एग्जाम, बोर्ड एग्जाम, आई डोंट नो वेयर दिस chalk goes again and again. I'll just put it there only now. Okay, so if I'm talking about the flexion, first thing you can simply make a joint. This is your hand. Okay, these are the elbow. Okay, now again flexion extension show करना है. So this is your joint, this is the elbow, ये अपना आपका hand show कर रहे हैं straight है ना. Abduction show करना है. तो ये एक person है, right, इसने hands अपने raise किए हुए हैं, ठीक है, away to the body parts. ये जो सेंट्रल लाइन है बॉडी की मास सिस्टम में नेक्स्ट किए अवे की. ये एक इंसान है, राइट. लेट्स सपोज ही इज अ बॉय नेम्ड जुआन, नेम्ड राज, नेम्ड राहुल एक्सेट्रा. सो व्हेन एवर हम हमारी बॉडी को जब भी मिड लाइन से दूर लेकर आते हैं, दिस इज एब्डक्शन. तो जब मैं बॉडी को पास लेकर आऊंगा, व्हेन एवर आई पुट माय, यहां से जब मैं नीचे लेके आ रहा हूं, दिस इज एडक्शन. बहुत सिंपल है, बहुत इजी है समझना. देखो जरा, अब मैं एक बच्चा बनाता हूं. ये गर्ल बनाते हैं, मान लो इसका नाम सुहानी है या आर्या है या फिर निधि है, राइट. सो निधि, ये निधि बना रहा हूँ मैं, राइट. आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग द नेम. आई एम नॉट श्योर कि कौन बच्चा है वैसे, जस्ट टेकिंग द नेम्स. तो अगर आपकी बॉडी आप ऐसे मिड लाइन से दूर ले जा रहे हैं तो ये है एब्डक्शन. अगर आप मिड लाइन से अपने हाथों को वापस नीचे लेके आ रहे हैं, दैट इज द एडक्शन. ADD. और ऊपर क्या है, एब्डक्शन. ABDU. एब्डक्शन और एडक्शन में बहुत डिफरेंस है बेटा, राइट. सो डिफरेंस के दोनों दूसरे के अपोजिट है. सबसे पहली बात, सो एडक्शन लिख लिया. अब है एडक्शन. एब्डक्शन हमने समझ लिया. सो एब्डक्शन को हमने पढ़ा भी. अब हम पढ़ रहे हैं एडक्शन क्या होता है. एडक्शन रेफर्स टू द मोशन दैट पुल्स द स्ट्रक्चर और पार्ट टुवर्ड्स द मिड लाइन ऑफ द बॉडी. जब आप टुवर्ड्स द मिड लाइन आओ तो वो है एडक्शन. जब आप अवे फ्रॉम द मिड लाइन जाओ तो वो है एबडक्शन. अभी मैं आपको एडक्शन बताता हूँ क्या होता है. It travels to the motion that pulls the structure or the part towards the midline of the body, towards the midline of the limb. In case the finger and toes, it travels to bring of the digits together to form a center line with the hand or foot. Adduction of the wrist is also called lunar deviation. जब wrist का adduction करोगे उसको lunar deviation बोलते हैं. Drop the arms to the slide and bring the knees together is example of adduction. Next thing, very important thing that now I am going to tell you is about the circumduction. Okay, तो circumduction क्या है? Circumduction is refers to the conical movement of the body part. What is circumduction? Circumduction is the conical movement of the body part, such as the ball and socket joint, the eye. Circumduction is a combination of flexion, extension, adduction, abduction. Circumduction can be best performed by ball and socket joint, that is the shoulder joint, hip joint, shoulder joint, but may also be performed with the other part of the body like the fingers, like the hands, like the feet, like the head. For example, circumduction occurs when spinning the arm when performing tennis or bowling in the cricket. So I will just tell you circumduction क्या है. देखो बेटा, circumduction is very easy to get it. It's very simple. Circumduction यानी कि hands को rotate करना. When you rotating your hands, this is circumduction. The circumduction का मतलब ये होता है कि movements क्या हो रहा है, circle में हो रहा है. ये क्या हुआ है, circumduction हो रहा है, right? अगली अगर मैं बात करूँ, मेरे पास और भी कुछ पॉइंट्स हैं. जैसे है मेरे पास में अगले जो पॉइंट्स हैं, जैसे कि है हमारे पास में एलिवेशन और डिप्रेशन, जो छूट गए थे अभी, राइट. Elevation and depression that we need to know. So let me first write it here. Elevation and depression. I think we can write here elevation 6 point. Elevation और एक और पॉइंट हम लिख देते हैं जो है हमारा डिप्रेशन. इस पॉइंट पर इससे मैच कीजिएगा, राइट. डिप्रेशन that is the 16th one and this is the 15th one. ठीक है. अब बेटा देखो एक चीज बताता हूँ. आप मेरे शोल्डर्स, आप मुझे पीछे है ना, आप मेरे ये वाला रीजन देखिए, राइट. यू आर सपोज टू सी माय दिस रीजन. जब मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मैंने एलिवेट किया. दिस इज व्हाट, दिस इज एलिवेशन. ये मैंने रिलीज कर दिया. ये है डिप्रेशन. व्हाट इज एलिवेशन? एक बार फिर से मैं आपको शो कर रहा हूँ. प्लीज कीप ऑन योर होल कंसंट्रेशन हियर. आप मेरे इस रीजन को देखिएगा, राइट. यहाँ पर होता है ना सबके ये वाला रीजन. इस रीजन पे आप देखिए, ये आप जो आपकी बॉडी को अपर साइड जा रहा है, देखिए. दिस इज एलिवेशन, दिस इज डिप्रेशन. एलिवेशन, डिप्रेशन. गॉट इट? कंसेप्ट बिहाइंड द एलिवेशन एंड द डिप्रेशन. These 2 points, elevation and डिप्रेशन, ठीक। सो एलिवेशन और डिप्रेशन का पॉइंट आई होप क्लियर है आप सभी को। जस्ट लिटिल बिट आई एम गोइंग टू टिल्ट इट हियर। ओके, सो एलिवेशन क्या था, डिप्रेशन क्या था। नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू टेल द डेफिनेशन ऑफ इट। सो एलिवेशन रेफर्स टू द मूवमेंट टू द सुपीरियर डायरेक्शन। इट मींस शगिंग का एग्जांपल, जब हम शगिंग कर रहे हैं, जो मैंने करके बताया वो क्या था, एलिवेशन। डिप्रेशन मतलब क्या, इंफीरियर डायरेक्शन में जाना। डिप्रेशन रेफर्स टू द मूवमेंट इन inferior direction. It means the opposite elevation. So आपको elevation का opposite क्या है, depression है या नहीं है। elevation का opposite क्या है, depression। Now if we can talk about the next thing, so the other things like pronation या rotation की अगर हम बात करें, right, तो rotation क्या होता है, movement of bone around the longitudinal axis. Medial rotation is important, in which the anterior aspects of limbs turns toward the midline. Lateral rotation is the movement in which anterior aspects of the limbs turn away from the midline. Pronation, you can see the 7th point on my board. Pronation, when the anatomical position of the forearms is rotated so that the palm of the hands faces backward, with the elbow is flexed, so the forearms is horizontal palm and hands turn into the face down. Supination, तो जब मैं supination की बात कर रहा हूँ बेटा, तो opposite of pronation. Supination क्या है, pronation का opposite. The position of pronation, the palm of the hands is turned to the face towards the upward and the forearms is horizontal. Inversion, okay, inversion क्या है, turning inwards to the plantar aspects of the foot. And the next is eversion, okay, it is not X, it is eversion. So turn towards the planar aspect of the foot. Dorsiflexion is also on the 11th point. So dorsiflexion क्या है, a movement of the ankles which pulls the toes to the foot up to the body. Plantar flexion, the points of the toes and the foot away from the body. Prone, so proning, lying position at the tongue. जब आप उल्टे सोए हुए हैं, that is prone. सुपाइन यानी कि आप बैक स्ट्रेट करके फेस आपका ऊपर की सामने की तरफ है, दैट इज सुपिनेशन। एलिवेशन और डिप्रेशन हमने देख लिया। तो बेटा दिस इज अबाउट व्हाट, द टाइप्स ऑफ मूवमेंट। दिस इज व्हाट, दिस इज द टाइप्स ऑफ मूवमेंट। नाउ आई वांट टू टेल यू सो मेनी थिंग्स। सबसे पहली बात यहाँ पर यह है कि दिस इज द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन ऑफ अ बोर्ड एग्जाम, राइट। इसको हमको कितने मार्क्स में प्रिपेयर करना है, 5 मार्क्स में प्रिपेयर करना है। ये 5 मार्क्स का हमारा बोर्ड एग्जाम का क्वेश्चन पेपर है, मैं आने वाला क्वेश्चन है, राइट। तो इसमें से हमें कोई से भी 3 चीज पूछ सकते हैं। बेसिकली ये 4 चीजें पूछते हैं। ये कभी बोलते थे कोई भी मूवमेंट्स, टाइप्स ऑफ मूवमेंट समझाओ, आपको लिखना पड़ेगा सारी चीजें, आपको ड्रॉ करना पड़ेगा। सो फ्लेक्शन है, एल्बो क्या हो गया, फ्लेक्शन, ये हो गया एक्सटेंशन, ये हो गया एबडक्शन, ये हो गया एडक्शन, राइट। फिर से बता दूं, देखो ये है मेरा हैंड, ये है फ्लेक्शन, ये है एक्सटेंशन, बॉडी मिड लाइन से ऊपर ले जाना है एडक्शन, एबडक्शन, मिड लाइन से नीचे लेकर आना, मिड लाइन पे लेकर आना, फिर से एडक्शन, सर्कमडक्शन। सो दीज आर सम पॉइंट्स। सो वी हैव स्टडीड अबाउट फ्लेक्शन, एक्सटेंशन, एबडक्शन, एडक्शन, सर्कमडक्शन, रोटेशन, pronation, supination, inversion, eversion. This is not X, this is V. Eversion, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, supine, groin, elevation, depression. Elevation मैंने आपको बताया था कि जब हम बॉडी को शग करते हैं, दिस इज शगिंग ड्रॉप, शगिंग ड्रॉप। तो शगिंग क्या है, एलिवेशन है, और डिप्रेशन क्या है, नीचे आना बॉडी। सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट व्हाट द पार्ट 4 अबाउट बायोमेकेनिक्स इन स्पोर्ट्स। इस वाले क्वेश्चन को बेटा जस्ट गो थ्रू इट इन 5 मार्क्स, do it properly. If you go through it properly, there will not be any problem and our 5 marks is done. इसी के साथ साथ इसमें से एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चंस भी बहुत सारे हमारे बन रहे हैं, ठीक है। सो वी नीड टू गो थ्रू इट वेरी नाइसली, द एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चंस, द 5 मार्क्स क्वेश्चन, जस्ट प्रिपेयर इट नाइसली, ओके। हमको बहुत अच्छे से नाइसली इसको प्रिपेयर करना है। दिस इज अ 5 मार्क्स क्वेश्चन, वी नीड टू गो थ्रू इट, दैट्स इट, ओके। सो एमसीक्यू पैटर्न एज वेल एज सो मेनी थिंग्स, वी नीड टू गो फॉर इट, ओके। तो क्या क्या आ रहा है इससे, हमको इसको 5 मार्क्स, वैसे ही 3 मार्क्स में भी कभी कभी पूछ लिया जाएगा आपसे। अगर 1 2 3 पूछा फिर डायग्राम है तो आपको बनाना है। दूसरी चीज, दिस डायग्राम्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ओके आई नो बच्चों को डायग्राम बनाने में बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है एंड व्हेनेवर दे आर मैथ्स और इन कॉमर्स हियर आई नीड दिस लाइन डायग्राम बनाइए लाइन डायग्राम्स आर सो इजी एंड यू विल गेट द मार्क्स line diagram just go through the line diagrams started to draw the line diagrams it will become so easy for you to draw all this kind of things so just make line diagrams okay first thing to make the line diagrams next thing is to learn this in 3 marks 5 marks 3 marks so if you go through for 5 marks 3 marks का क्वेश्चन कर सकते हो डीप स्टडी करो तो इसमें से हमको एमसीक्यू भी आएगा कितने मार्क्स के 2 मार्क्स okay so it is a 7 marks chapter okay so just go through for 5 marks answer 5 marks this question and these 2 MCQs from this chapter might come or it may be changed right so just go through it properly with this lots of love and lots of blessings to everyone I hope you understand these all concepts just requested everyone to go through this chapter it seems to be difficult but it is not at all like that so with lots of love lots of blessings to all my dear kiddos okay just go through it properly anytime whenever you need we teachers we physical education teacher are always with you 24/7 right with this bye bye students take care we'll meet soon with the new lecture with the practical part also just take care of you